If you invest $100 a month starting at age 25, you'd have over $600,000 by the time you're 65. But if you wait until age 35 to start, you'd end up with less than $230,000, even investing the same amount. Now, those numbers assume historical market averages of around 10%, and actual returns will vary, but the point stands. Time makes a massive difference. Stats like this completely changed how I've thought about investing. When I first started, I hesitated. I felt confused, overwhelmed, and like I needed more money before I could really get going. But after years of investing now, I can say confidently, starting early mattered way more than the amount that I started with, even when it felt small. So today, I want to break this down in a very simple way. We're going to look at why time matters more than the amount you start with, how your earliest dollars grow faster than you think, and how you can get started with $100 or less using a simple, beginner-friendly approach. Let's get into it. So let's start with the part that people usually get backwards. Why when you start matters more than how much you start with. Many people believe investing is all about having a big amount up front. But the truth is, the biggest advantage you can have isn't actually your starting balance. It's time. Your earliest dollars get the longest runway to grow, which means they end up doing the most work. Remember that example from earlier? Start at 25 and end up with over $600,000, or start at 35 and end up with less than $230,000. Same monthly contribution, same return assumption, same person, just 10 years later. And that difference, over $370,000, comes from time, not timing the market, not being an expert, just starting earlier. And here's the part most people never hear explained simply: how your earliest dollars actually grow. See, compound interest sounds complicated, but it can actually be really simple. It just means this: your money makes money, and then that money makes money. Your earliest dollars are like the first snowball at the top of a hill. At first, it's tiny, barely anything, but the longer it rolls, the more it picks up. And by the time it reaches the bottom, it's not just bigger, it's exponentially bigger. That's compound growth. Your first $100 has 40 years to roll. Your last 100 only has a few months. This is why slow, steady, consistent investing beats waiting for the perfect moment or waiting to have this big lump sum to invest one day in the future. So now let's make this practical for you by discussing how to start investing with $100 or even less. See, this is where many people get stuck, not because it's hard, but because investing feels intimidating. So let me simplify a strategy to use. Step number 1 is to choose your account. You just need a place to invest inside of. For some people, there's a workplace retirement plan. For others, it's an IRA or a regular brokerage account. The type of account you'll want to choose depends on several factors, like what you're investing for and when you'll need to have access to these funds. So do some research to figure out what fits best for your situation. Step number 2 is to keep it simple. You don't need to pick individual stocks or chase trends even. Many people start with something simple and diversified, something that spreads your money across a lot of companies like a mutual fund or ETF, depending on what's available in their account. And if you're thinking, I don't even know where I'd find an extra $100 with how crazy things are right now, I actually put together a quick guide with 5 easy ways to save $200 this week alone. It's totally free. I'll link it down in the description below if you want to grab it. And step number 3 is to automate whatever amount works for you. Once you've picked what you want to invest in and you made your initial purchase, set up recurring deposits, $25 a week, $100 a month, whatever amount fits in your budget. The key is making it automatic, so you're building that snowball consistently without having to remember to do it manually each time. And step number 4 is to give it time. See, this is the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Once you set it up, one of the most powerful things that you can do is stay consistent and be patient. So here's the big idea I want you to remember. While it's nice to have $10,000 or more to start investing, you actually don't need that much. You need time, consistency, and a simple plan. Start small, stay steady, and let time do the heavy lifting. And if you want to get more complex with your investments over time, that's fine, but you need to start somewhere. And if you haven't built a solid emergency fund or you're still carrying non-mortgage debt, it might make sense to focus on those first. Not because investing isn't important, but because those two things can significantly hinder your progress while you're trying to build. And if you need help with either of those, I've already made videos walking through both, which you can check out here on the screen. If you got any value out of this video, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.